Hello, you are listening to Call to Homeschool, episode number 271, Homeschool Help. Friends, can you believe we are already to the end of July? It is so crazy how fast the summer has gone. Our summer has been really exciting with the wedding. And my daughter flies out to Mongolia and Japan next week to do a huge service trip through HXP. If you remember earlier in the year, she created a download. Um, what was it called? 30 days something to help your family, 30 ways to connect as a family, something cute like that. But she worked really hard. So she is going on that trip next week. So that'll be crazy. I will be boy trapped. None of my girls will be living here. So that'll be exciting. So that'll be lots of fun, but lots of fun stuff this summer. Just kind of simple summer, and I like it that way. Today, I just want to offer some homeschool help, and I love homeschool so stinking much. It's something I could talk about all the time, and I love it. And so, as I was thinking about, a lot of people are getting ready to start homeschooling, whether for their first time or just like still working on creating a homeschool that they love. I just wanted to give you some help for your homeschool. So I have my workbook. You can download this. It's 30 days to ease into homeschooling. But what I decided to do is to just quickly do a highlight over the whole thing on Instagram. And so I did just short little reels of all 30 days of ways to ease into homeschooling. Um, I keep hearing a lot of people wishing they would have had a step-by-step guide, or they're going to start homeschooling, and I see lots of messages of it would be so easy if there was somebody who could just tell me what to do. And so I had created one. I created this a couple years ago. And I just like to help people to not feel so overwhelmed and give them actionable steps to take to just like ease into homeschooling, so you don't feel like this is so crazy, this is so overwhelming, I have no idea what I'm doing. For new people, it has really helped them to just calm down, like, okay, one step at a time. I totally have this. This is great. I also have people who have been homeschooling, whether for a year, 10 years, whatever, anything in between. This workbook has really helped them to make sure that they're building a strong foundation. If you're already homeschooling, you just skip step one. And step one is just check your state laws. So you can head on over to Instagram at Coach Meg Thomas, and you can check out all 30 days there on how to ease into homeschooling, how to help your homeschool run more smoothly. So you can check that out there. The next idea I had to help was to offer a free class. And I went back and forth on whether or not to charge this for this class, because I know sometimes when something's free, people are like, it's not really worth my time then. But I ultimately decided to do it for free because I wanted to be able to help as many people as possible. And I know a lot of homeschoolers are single income. So I just wanted to make this as affordable and as easy as possible. So in this free class, I'm going to be going over two main areas. And the first one is the importance of building your own strong foundation so that you can show up how you want to show up with your kids. And this is really the how to build that strong foundation and how to actually stay in control of yourself. And so often I will just even say, like, stay in control of yourself. And you might say, wonderful idea, Meg. How in the world do I do that? Well, friend, that's what I'm going to be talking about in this free class, is that how of how to actually stay in control of yourself. So often, and a lot of you know, that connection is how we teach our kids. But how do you feel connection and create this connection if you feel crazy all the time, if you're yelling all the time, if you feel so annoyed with your kids all the time? So I really want to help you to be fully in control of yourself so that you can really learn to connect with your kids at a deep level, so that homeschool gets to just be a lot more fun. Because when you have this deep connection with your kids, you are merely just guiding them. And they are much more receptive to your teaching. They are much more receptive to the going with the flow of things, to trying new things, to pushing through when things are hard. That connection piece is huge, but you can't build that connection if you're really struggling. And so I really want to focus on that piece with you so that you can have this awesome homeschool year. Also, you don't have to be perfect. Just FYI, you are allowed to have off days and bad days. So, totally going over all of those things, how to overcome that. So, that is the first part I'll be sharing with you. And the next part is I am giving you the full lesson plans for September. So I started writing lesson plans last year, and they've been really helpful to make homeschool so doable. I had one of my clients in my membership. She had been homeschooling for a few years, and she saw the format of how I do my lesson plans, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you just made the complication of homeschool so simple. Visually, this is so easy to do." I gave away free lesson plans in May, and so those ones were quite a bit lighter. So this one will just have a lot more options from May. So, like, this is much more in depth. Like, let's go all in school. A lot of times in September, we're a lot more excited to do school. So, really, helping you to have this amazing lesson plans to get your homeschool started. So I gave you ideas of games you could play each day. So I just do 4 days a week. I have found that that is a great way to help you be more consistent, is to not try to do 5 days a week, but just do 4 days a week. And so ideas of to do for games, and maybe these are critical thinking games, maybe they're math games, maybe a writing thing you could do, just different ideas, geography, just different games that you can play. In it, I always have, I guess not for every lesson, but for a lot of the lessons, I have a simple picture book. And it's so interesting because, like, where do I start? You start with simple picture books. Even if you have an older kid, if this is their first time being exposed to a subject, picture books can explain things in such a simplistic way that anybody can understand. When somebody asks me how I know so much about a certain topic, I think I always start with a picture book. I start with the most simplistic form. And then when I'm ready for more, I can take in more depth of maybe a little bit more complex of a book. And then when I really understand it, I can take an even more complex book and I can truly understand the subject. But if you just dive into a kid, like, let's understand the socioeconomic issues with Venezuela and how what happened to their society and how it crumbled, you've lost a ton of your kids, right? But if you're like, let's learn where Venezuela is. What is their country like? What language do they speak? What food is there? What is their currency, right? Like, let's just get with the basics. And then maybe let's learn what socialism is. Let's, like, simplify that. What is socialism? And then maybe when they're ready, we can go in into a lot of the programs they had and what ended up happening with Venezuela when it crashed, right? Like, I would not dive in with this deep, hard topic if they do not have a basic structure. So I do this with all of my books. So we will be learning about the French Revolution. So what we'll be doing with simpler things are just some of the people in France. Maybe that's Louis the 16th or Marie Antoinette. Some of those people, and we don't need to get into the whole French Revolution with little kids. We can just start with those really simple things, and we can learn about France. And this is the French flag, and this is where France is in out Europe, and what are the continents, right? Like, whatever that is, we can simplify it so much. But then when they're ready for more, oh my gosh, because I've read a lot of these books already. I pre-read a lot of these things. Understanding the French Revolution, I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. It's kind of a crazy revolution, right? And the guillotine was created, and different things like that. So I have those simple books, right? And then for a younger teen, maybe I have a really good book about, it's a historical fiction of going through with some of the French Revolution, right? Into an older teen book of just really understanding, getting the depth with it. So it doesn't mean because you have an older teen, you start with that one. It's kind of an idea of like the more in depth version of something. So always start with those simpler versions because it really makes more sense. I also give you ideas for videos you can watch. And we have had so much fun with just different YouTube videos of really understanding concepts, whether this is from Tuttle Twins and really understanding some different things with economics, with whatever the law, all these different things that we learned through the Tuttle Twins videos. Maybe that is something with history. We do a ton of YouTube videos on history. We do a lot of fun things with science so that they can visually see something. So I like to give you some videos that you can watch. Sometimes it's even music to listen to. Here's a really beautiful version of Vivaldi's Winter, or here's some, like, maybe a song to learn all the states to. Just something fun, ideas for you that you don't have to go and spend all of this time hunting and searching for all of these lesson plan ideas. I want to show you all the books on the call that you could use, give you the PDF download, and help you get ready to create an awesome homeschool in the fall. So just a little background of what inspires these lesson plans are definitely big Charlotte Mason fan over here, really inspired by her works and really inspired by Well Educated Heart. Beautiful feet. What are they called? Beautiful books. and I can't remember their website. I think is Beautiful Feet, but maybe it's called beautifulfeetbooks.com or something. Anyways, they have amazing books. So they are all just that really amazing literature that's taught through stories, really learning to love a people before you just going in. So, like learning to love the French people and understanding them. And then when you read about the revolution, you don't have to be like, oh, good laws. The French people were gross, that they were just like chopping off everybody's heads. But no, they'd been living under a monarchy and they were starving. And there was so much going on that this was this uprising. And why did the United States not get involved when France had helped the United States? And like understanding that at a deeper level because you have understood this basics, right? And not hating a type of country or a type of people, but when you get to know a type of people and know the people of what their struggles were, you can have so much more compassion and understanding of like, wow, I can see why it got as crazy as it did with some of the things that they went on. So I love really, those are some of the things that really have influenced me, but I like to make it easy for you so that you don't have to go watch all these YouTube videos or listen to all this music or go pre-read all of these books as you for your kids in your school, but just have it handed to you of like, this is what's best. And when it's handed to you that way, then you can still use guidance from the spirit, from promptings, from just ideas that you have of like, oh, this could make this so much more fun. So one of the things we'll be doing with science will be the ocean, and we'll learn about Jacques Cousteau, right? So someone who's from France and some of the things that he's done and really learning some of the things about oceans. And so just like you don't have to go research it all. I already did the work for you. I've been homeschooling for so long. It's just so fun for me to go do. So I'm going to be giving all of this away for free. And I'm going to be doing this live class on Thursday, August 1st at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you cannot make it live, no worries. I'm going to record it to you and you'll get the replay the next day. And everyone who registers for this class, you will get the lesson plan. So even if you can't attend the live class, you will still get all the lesson plans. I have a link to sign up for this in the show notes in my bio on Instagram, and it will go out to everyone on my email list to be able to sign up for this. I just love homeschooling so much. And I see how amazing it can be for your family and for your children. I was just talking to someone the other day whose daughter, like, they've never thought about homeschooling. Like, homeschooling's weird, right? And as I was talking to her about homeschooling, and she was telling me all these anxieties her daughter's having and how stressful school is. And I was like, there are other ways, right? And I just listed out like 5 different options because she lives in my area that I was telling her all these things that she could do. And it was so awesome to have her being like, oh, wow, this is so fantastic. All of a sudden, I have hope. All of a sudden, I realize things can be better for our family. So homeschooling is so neat because you get to live the life on your terms instead of living life on what somebody is telling you your schedule should be, what time you get up, what you do every day, if you're doing homework all night, but you just really get to have this amazing family culture and you can be really intentional with what you want to create. But I also understand that there's a lot of curriculum options out there now. And so maybe you're like, I like the idea of homeschooling, but there's so many options. I'm completely overwhelmed. So this is one way that I can just really help you to bring it back in to help you to see it doesn't have to be super overwhelming, that it is totally doable, that anybody can make it work. So I just love to help you on your journey. So make sure you check out the 30 Days to Ease into Homeschooling program on my Instagram. You can just go and go review those. You're welcome to download the book if you want, but I do have a little highlight on my Instagram. And then you can register for that free homeschool class on August 1st. And I would love to see you there. Love you so much and talk to you next week.